Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Fashion Pulse. We're here this week. Before we get into the topic, River West Radio is having their Christmas cookie sale that is taking this is placed in December. For more information, the actually, if you go to the website at riverwestradio.com, the cookie sale is December 20th from 11. Uh, they're stating from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. However, I will get some better details if that changes as well and post it to my social media. So today it's just Devin and I. I have a subject that I have just been itching to have a conversation about. It's something that is very powerful and can create a lot of change. So let me ask you something. If someone saw you today, before you said a word, before you explained who you were, gave your elevator pitch, so to say, what you, what story would you imagine that it would tell? Because this, here's the truth, most people don't want to say out loud. Your image is your first marketing strategy, not your website, not your logo, not the 5 paragraph bio you keep rewriting. It's you.
Amen.
Devin, share some thoughts with me.
So that's why I say, yes, it's like you have to present yourself. You are the own personal brand. So here is why I say your personality, your how you dress, how you carry yourself, how people speak about you behind the scenes, if it's good, is what's going to bring more people in. And it's not about it's about how you carry yourself and how you handle yourself in a world that is crazy right now. We have to learn that a lot of times it's how we represent ourselves in this world.
Oh, most definitely. Did you know that according to the Harvard Business Review, that first impressions are formed during the first 7 to 30 seconds that you see a person, and more than 50% of those impressions is based on appearance alone.
Mm-hmm.
That is an absolutely astounding, impressive number. People, before people even hear your voice, before you share your brilliance, before you even pitch that idea, they've already decided whether you are credible, confident, polished, or not.
Ooh, that's true.
So today we're going to talk about that because your image isn't just about clothing. It's influence, presence, and what I call your polished identity. So let's get into it. So your image is your strategy. Here's the number one mistake that I think most people make is that they think that image is just something extra.
Mm-mm.
It's just for the movie stars. Something you deal with after the business is built, but by then it's too late. Your image, let me state this again, your image is the first thing that people interact with, and it's the last thing they remember. Whether it's your style, your posture, your grooming, your digital presence, your expression, your energy, your aesthetic.
Yes.
Any thoughts?
I think those are all three examples of what is gonna make you a make you represent yourself. And it's like how you dress, and like I said, like you said, it is who you're supposed to be. How you walk in the room, how you interact with people, how you Gage, that's what's going to give people to come to you. That is what's going to come to your business. That's what's come to your personal life. And sometimes you have to really engage with them in order to, you have to sell them. And I feel like both of us as stylists really want to sell this, that. And it's about how we are grooming ourselves, how we are putting ourselves together, how we are making a name for ourselves. Even when, I'm going to say this, even our lives can be messy on privately, but outside we are trying to be more of how we carry ourselves in the world that is just going fast pace.
Oh, most definitely. And we're going to get into that. But as you said, every single communication, every single piece communicates something. Whether you realize it or not, your image either opening doors, like you said, or it's quietly closing them.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it before.
I've seen it too.
I watched people literally walk into rooms where nobody knew them. They weren't the biggest names in the room, but the way they showed up made people stop, look, and pay attention.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's an example. I think when I started MK Fashion for All, it was like, and I'm going to say this, and it was during the pandemic. And a lot of times, I'm going to say my backstory with this. I wanted somebody to come to an event. It was, say word, it was a streetwear brand. It was at a different location at the time. And I was like, I was taking care of my parents at the time, RIP. And I asked my friend Erin CB to come with me because I needed I needed herself. But she was like, I can't unfortunately come with you. I was like, I was ready to go back to call my Lyft. At the time, I was pretty impulsive with my spending, which sometimes I am. I'm working on it. But again, it was something I said I had to go out there and do it. And I talked to the person who was running the pop up, and it was during the pandemic. I talked to every single one of them, and everybody was engaged, and I was coming in, and then they followed and they did. It was a different, and I think this was my first blog. And at the time, and I'm going to say it was transparency, I wasn't really responsible. I didn't take it responsibly because there was more things I was doing wrong, and I was trying to please everybody and do everything and it was a time when Me Too movement was coming around and all these things. So this was the first blog where I was a little bit more not well prepared, and I wasn't getting I was getting followers and recognition, but at the same time, I put too much personal into that blog. And it was a time now where I'm like, this second win is different because of what I'm carrying myself into this. And I think when you go out to places, even if you aren't with that person, sometimes it can change you. Sometimes lately I've been going to events by myself without asking a friend to go with me because I knew who I was now, because I knew I grew my following from the first page, which wasn't as, I was too much on there, to now where I'm trying to be more well polished, well established, well mannered, and it's still a work in progress, but I still think when you go by yourself, it makes more difference to network in places.
Almost definitely. However, let's continue on. So, back to when they entered the room, it wasn't because they were flashy, not because they wore a $2,000 suit, but because they dressed and looked intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Intentionality is louder than labels. Everything you wear, everything you post, everything you present is marketing.
Mm-hmm. And those things are like clothes.
So people throw around the word brand so much that I often think it's starting to lose meaning. So let me go ahead and give you the real definition of what personal brand is. Personal brand power equals influence plus credibility plus recognition based on how you show up visually and behaviorally. So it's not just about your clothes. It's not just a good photo on LinkedIn. It's the whole package.
Yes.
Your style, the fit, the colors, the textures. Your grooming
Mm-hmm.
says a lot.
Yes.
Everything from how you take care of your nails, the things people notice subconsciously that scream either I take myself seriously or I just threw myself together.
Mm. Yeah.
Presence.
Mm-hmm.
You stated before, your posture, how you walk into the room, the energy that you hold. Your digital consistency, you touched on that.
Mm-hmm. And the thing with it is like, yes, what did I say something? What?
Um, I was just saying you touched on that earlier on the importance of it. Um, the consistency in it's not only your consistency in your posting, as you stated, it's consistency of who you are online versus in person.
Amen.
It is an authenticity that you have that sells.
I can say something, or what do you want me to do?
So, Devin, you and I know Milwaukee's a pretty tight knit, small community. People talk.
Uh huh.
Consistency grows trust. And the smaller the community, the faster it gets around.
Yes, I'm just like I know.
So here's your first audit of the week. I want you as an audience and all of us to ask ourselves, where's our brand aligned and where is it slipping? That's number. Now here's something I'm going to tell, just hold on to your seatbelt, because something I'm going to say next is very powerful. Why people lose opportunities is because they're renting power.
Mm-hmm.
And they're renting power instead of owning it.
Mm.
Now let me break it down for you. So give you a little bit of this is crucial. Renting power, again, renting power is the world giving you authority instead of owning it yourself. Most people are out there renting power.
Mm-hmm.
What do I mean by that? So here's a few examples. Renting power is waiting for permission.
Mm.
Relying on those designer labels to speak for you.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping your job title gives you presence. Using filters, and we're talking about social media,
Mm-hmm.
instead of improving your real image.
Mm-hmm.
The authenticity. Depending on external validation to feel credible. That's a big one.
It's hard, and I'm learning that now.
People rent power because they think that influence comes from the outside. But real personal branding comes from the inside out. I'm going to give you an example. When I started a blog a few years ago, even when I'm in the fashion community, everything from seeking out podcast guests to working in the community, I sought that that validation and that thumbs up from everybody else. Allowing them to decide what my path was going to be. when I finally stopped seeking that validation and chose to create my own path, which is what I'm doing, that's where this podcast came out. That's where my marketing plan came out. That's where the website came out. That's where this entire brand world, which is the YouTube channel, the podcast, the website, the blog, I have created my own identity. I have created my whole image instead of waiting for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the real power is. Creating your own path, letting it come from within to the outside. Now that's something powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how owning that power looks. Dressing with intention. Understanding how people perceive you. Curating your digital presence. Showing up consistently. And that means online and offline.
Mm-hmm.
Not needing anyone to give you that confidence because you built it.
Yes. And that's the truth. And like you said, it's like, it's a similar thing with you and me. The reason why you created opportunities, but here's the thing with people, hey, you said this, and you said this a couple weeks ago at the closeout, no one's going to hand it to you. No one's going to hand it to you. It's like, do you know that there's opportunities? Anytime there's something I can admit, there's times I slack off, but then something comes up that I want to do. Did y'all hear that Eddie B is doing the Walk It Out fashion and reboot? Here's what I did on my Thanksgiving weekend. I wrote a thing in my notes, used the chat PTT to grammar it, used my cousin to proofread it. I sent it to them because here's the personal truth about something about me. And I'm going to say this. Sometimes the weather season can make me feel lazier, and it can. But I said to myself, Devin, you have done so many things in this community, and there's people who are needing your presence. And just I said, and I say validation is fine. I have like I said with my trainer Tony, who just went to the Brandy and Monica show in Brooklyn. So what he did was shout me out when he told me Devin Billings inspired. And I said to myself, this is something I need to keep doing because it's not about, I say validation. Here's the difference. Sometimes you need certain people to get you out of your funk. And sometimes there's a difference. Sometimes I'm working on being more grateful of things because your imposter syndrome is always going to take attack. But the people who have said how I have inspired them to dress, how I helped them through a dark moment, I've helped people for free when I was doing for Zal. That's rewarding because some people are going through abusive relationships, are going through life changes. And I said to myself, it's something, the reason why I keep doing it more is because sometimes I need to get out of bed and do something because some people are inspired by me. And then when I take opportunities, like I said, with Walk It Out or the podcast or creating collaborations with Jamie, it's because I want to grow. And sometimes we need to learn this. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not, because that's I feel like I've been in this game 5 years and I haven't been as professional. Like I'll admit I am not, some days I'm not mature and some days I'm trying to be mature. But I'm going to say this at the end of the day, you have to take the opportunities. You may not create them, but if there's an opportunity open for you, take it and learn to ride with it.
So how about this? Continue on with that, what we were talking about, and after what you have said, think about the last time you saw someone enter the room and you instantly trusted them. Appearance alone, you didn't talk to them. that wasn't an accident.
Mm-mm.
It was intentional power.
Yes.
So this week, I want you to choose one area you're going to take ownership of, and that includes you and me. Don't have to do all 5 of them. They are your wardrobe, your grooming, your posture, your digital consistency. And again, digital consistency meaning not so how much you post, but the fact is that you show up online and look the same as you are offline.
Yes.
More of the authenticity
Mm-hmm.
than anything.
Yes.
Pick it, own it, and then transform it.
Yes.
So, I was going to talk a little bit about personal styling, but we don't have as much time to be able to go into it as I would like to. So, along with that digital consistency, now people see us everywhere. Whether we're on YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, LinkedIn, website, in person, y'all have it has to be consistent. Your wardrobe has to match your digital identity, who you are online,
Yes.
and it has to be the same in person.
And truthful. It's truthful. Sometimes we would like to follow every influencer style, but you have to find your authenticity in your fashion. Sometimes there's times where I was picking high end and low, and I didn't know what I was. Then I realized thrifting and consignments and close tops were kind of my thing because that's where I go for when I'm trying to be more stylish. So that's why I'm leaning towards those kind of things because it's reality of humility. Sometimes for someone who's still working on financial literacy every single day, I have to learn that sometimes you don't have to break the bank to go buy an outfit for your personal brand. I can tell you right now, I went to Goodwill and bought this shirt and I was going to wear it today, and these pants and these boots because it was thought, it was intentional. It was something I was going to wear. And that's why I knew that I was going to be a stylist and in fashion is because when you easily can pick out your wardrobe, then you know what your path is. So that's what it is.
Well, and actually, in picking out your wardrobe, it's intentional. You're not going out there and just willy nilly picking something up. You're doing it with an intention. So, we have a few minutes here. So, some of your signature elements are color, your silhouette, jewelry, which is an accessory. Let's just say accessories altogether. Your grooming, and you have a distinct camera ready presence. When people see you online or in person, they should think that's them. That's their identity. That is the power of a polished brand. So this week, I want you to focus on one area of your image and take full ownership. Whether it's your grooming, wardrobe, posture, or digital consistency, be intentional. Watch how people respond differently. Have you noticed that?
Oh, I've noticed that a lot more now because. Oh no, I'm sorry about that. I gotta get back. I noticed that a lot more now because, in a way, how this year I have been dressing and how I've been showing up a little bit more. It shows me that there are people who say, "Are you a designer? Are you a stylist? Are you anything?" It feels authentic because when they say how I look, or people say you're the reason why I get on my PJs because of you and your videos, It's something that I notice more now because how I carry myself at my job, how I carry myself at my here, I carry myself here, and I carry myself everywhere. So it's like knowing that that does make a difference is yeah, I have to start being more intentional how I take care of myself, even when it comes to my mental health, even when I'm saying this to honestly say sometimes there's more things I have to work on, getting back on. And it's going to take some small steps. It's going to take some intentional, but I think there's areas I won't need to improve on, and there's areas I need to work on consistently. But it's always going to be a trial and error in my life. So yes,
So, what do you like? What is one thing that you changed this last week to
last week for what
like the one thing that you changed that's noticed you made a difference? Going along with this intentional, your wardrobe, your grooming that people have noticed this last week, let's say.
I think in a way I would say I think it's because the wardrobe got in more. It's not too fussier than it was previously. I think one of the things that I've seen happen was more people are seeing how I dress, how it's like my sister said best, you look better in a t-shirt and a shirt and a jeans combo, which is why I've been like everyone's seen the wardrobe. You dress like a model, you dress like a stylist. And I'm trying to say this in confidence, and I say, yes, validation is fine, but if you know how to intentionally dress, then you know that sometimes you don't need the validation. You don't. You don't need to know. You just know that you are knowing who you are, how you carry yourself, how you dress. You don't need a lot of validations.
Because it comes from within.
Yes.
So, with that being said, we're going to close out this. I want it. So, if you liked what you heard today, I would strongly encourage you to push that subscribe button in my YouTube channel. You can follow me at Instagram, Facebook. Devin is also on Facebook. Devin, tell them where they can subscribe to your newsletter.
Okay, so I just rebuild my bio link. So it is in the link. So it's bio link. Sign up for my newsletter because that's the one thing I'm gonna be intentional now of is giving you monthly until the summer and the hyper focus hits in. You'll get more weekly. So monthly is gonna be a pickup, but what I'm saying to you guys is sign up for my newsletter in my bio link. Just sign up, look in my mood shifts. I'm trying to grow a little bit more. So also check out our podcast and everything that I've done. So I'll add more into it, but link in the bio link and everything.
All right, thank you, Devin. We are just about out of time here. So before we go again, I want you to subscribe to both of our newsletters. And next week, we'll dive into the power of winter colors. Devin's gonna be, and Devin's gonna show you how to pick the right shades, how they can elevate your presence, command attention, and create a signature identity even in the coldest month. Because when your image meets your intention, everything changes. You just don't show up. So thank you for tuning in. See you next week. Until then, keep your pulse on fashion.